Hi guys, welcome back to the Wells Online Academy. Today we're going to look at the characteristics of living organisms. This video is based on the Csec biology syllabus. Let's get straight into it. Living things are alive and must perform certain activities to remain alive. These include movement, respiration, nutrition, sensitivity, reproduction, growth, and excretion. Basically, we're going to look at a memory card to help us to remember the different characteristics of living things, and this will be done in the form of a story time. Okay? One day, a couple decided to arrange dance lessons for their young daughter every week in the living room. The dance teacher they appointed was Mrs. GREN. She taught the girl to movement, correctly as a ballet dancer. At the end of the first few lessons, the girl was completely exhausted and crawling and breathing heavily. Respiration. They soon found that a few breaks for nutrition, milk, and cookies during each lesson solved the problem of her becoming exhausted. But as each lesson lasted 4 hours, she found that she often had blisters and her feet were rather sensitivity. However, with time, the blisters went away. Her mom and dad had several more children. Reproduction. All boys at that. But she was the only one who did ballet in the living room. Her brothers were only interested in playing football. As she grew up, the girl continued her dance lessons with Mrs. GREN and became good enough to perform her first dance recital. But at the start of the performance, with the capacity crowd awaiting, she could not be found. Yup, you may have probably guessed it by now. It was actually the number 2 situation. Excretion. So this was actually just a little memory card for you guys. So again, we have movement, respiration, nutrition, sensitivity, reproduction, growth, and excretion. You can also remember Mrs. GREN, who is a dance instructor. Movement, respiration, sensitivity, growth, reproduction, excretion, and nutrition. So the first characteristic that we're going to start with is movement. And we're going to use plants and animals to demonstrate movement. Carnivorous plants, which are plants that can eat animals, move to trap insects. This is actually called a Venus flytrap. Some plants close at night to prevent chilling injury. So because of the cold temperature that occurs at night, you may find some flowers that are able to adapt, accommodate, and close their leaves to prevent the extreme cold temperatures from affecting plant growth. Also, stomata leaves open and closes to regulate water loss. In addition, some flowers can actually turn their heads to follow the sun, and this allows for them to have efficient photosynthesis. And as you all know, animals have free movement. As you can see, these cute little puppies running in the snow, and these fishes are swimming about in the tank. Respiration is quite similar in both plants and animals. They both have cells that respire to produce energy. In plants, the oxygen is absorbed and carbon dioxide is released slowly via tiny holes or stomata in the leaves, as can be seen here. In animals, the oxygen from the air is breathed in or inhaled via the lungs, and carbon dioxide is breathed out or exhaled. Sensitivity. Plants can actually move slowly in a direction of light, as can be seen in this illustration. The green plant is actually bending towards light or to the sunlight. And this is in order for them to get as much sun as possible for photosynthesis to occur at its maximum potential. Plants are also sensitive to gravity, enabling them to always send roots downwards and green shoots upwards. Plants can respond to temperature changes in many ways, as we started to explain earlier. Exposure to heat, for example, can cause the stomata to open and allow water inside leaves to evaporate, so cooling the plant. Remember, water to vapor is evaporation, and with evaporation causes cooling. Just like if you were to sweat and then the sweat started to evaporate, you realize that you start to feel cooler after, right? Plants can also be sensitive to touch, and one of the ways in which they demonstrate this is actually when plants wrap their stems around trellises, as you can see here. Animals have specialized sensory cells and special sense organs. The eyes respond to light and they provide vision. The ears respond to sound to provide hearing. Nerve endings in the skin provide a sense of touch that allows us to feel temperature and pain, light touch, or even a heavier touch. Taste buds in our tongue and other parts of the mouth gives us a keen sense of taste. And millions of neurons on a strip of tissue called the olfactory in the back of our nose gives many animals that acute sense of smell. Growth. So some plants tend to grow by increasing in the number of cells and also the size of these cells. This is similar to animals, except that the cells tend to grow to a maximum size and stop. That's why when you go from a toddler to each adult, at some point your height starts to level off and you no longer get any taller. Reproduction. Plants, specifically flowering plants, make seeds that grow into new plants, and non-flowering plants make new plants from spores. Some plants actually reproduce asexually, for example strawberries. In animals, they may either lay eggs or give live birth babies. So the hen will lay eggs, while in humans, for example, birth is given to a live baby. Excretion, which is the process of removing metabolic waste products, can be achieved in both plants and animals. Plants will release excess oxygen when photosynthesizing or carbon dioxide when respiring. Other waste that is stored in leaves is released when the leaves die and fall off. In excretion in animals, that's done via sweat glands, breathing out carbon dioxide, elimination of feces, and urine. Nutrition is the taking enough food to provide energy, growth, maintenance of tissues, regulation of organism structure or body. In plants, it's a case where they absorb mineral nutrients from the soil via their roots up to their stems and leaves. The leaves contain green pigment called chlorophyll that makes glucose from sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water. This is known as photosynthesis. Now in animals, we eat plants and or other animals for food. The digestive system is what breaks down the food into glucose, fatty acids and glycerols, and amino acids, which is a simple form of the foods. And that's it for all the characteristics of living things. I hope you guys found this video super helpful. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the family for more videos. Take care until next time.